Hey guys, it's Amanda. My hair is loose today. I also cut it. If you know me, you know that I like my hair short, so it's gone. I'm so excited about today's video because first of all, we're talking about my favorite thing, books. So I have compiled a list for you guys of all of the books that I would say, well, not all of them, but most of the books that I would say really informed my journey as a mom, as an educator, as a homeschooling mother. As it's these are the books that changed the pathways in my brain and let me know what was possible, what was out there, what I was missing, what my kids were missing, and what I could offer them. These books gave me hope, they gave me direction, and now I'm gonna give them to you. So let's start. I separated these books into the why and the how. So some of these books are giving you information about why alternative schooling is important and why you should consider it. And the other ones are how to do it. There are so many ways to do this. Once you dip a toe into the world of alternative education, it just cracks open, and there's so much to know and to learn. So we're gonna start with the why books, and then we're gonna get into the how. The how pile is much bigger. Some of them I listen to on audio, so I will put in a picture of the books when I get to them. And yeah, let's go. So before anything else, what I need to let you know is that what got me through all of this and what guides everything that I do is my Bible. Here's my Bible. I read this every day. This is the NIV version, the Women's Study Bible, and I just go chapter by chapter. And sometimes I feel like drawn to something. Right now I'm in Proverbs, and it has like Bible study, so it'll explain what you read. And yeah, sometimes I'll be like I'll hear a verse from Isaiah and it'll speak to me, and I'll be like, I'm just gonna read all of Isaiah, and I'll stay there. Seasonally, like I'll read John, or I'll read the Gospels depending on what season we're in. And that's just how I approach my Bible. But I do my best to read this every day, and it just calms my mind and guides me. Also, I like to do devotionals. This devotional I found on Amazon. It's called Rescue. I know that this is backwards. They're all going to be backwards. I'm using the front facing camera. I'm sorry. This is called Rescue, 5-minute daily devotionals for homeschool moms. This got me right when I needed it. I would just read my Bible. I would read this every morning. I would do a 5-minute devotional, just like clear my mind and get ready to go and teach my kids. And it really helped me. I also would do the Max Lucado God with You everyday devotional, and I would read Lin-Manuel Miranda's Good Morning, Good Night for some inspiration. And this just always made me feel better. One of my favorite ones, in the morning, it says, "Good morning. Your worst fears about yourself only need a drop of attention and sunlight to grow quick and wreck your whole ish. Clear away those weeds. Take time to harvest your strengths and your joys. Water and sunlight to the best of you." And then I will go through my day, and then I will pick this back up at nighttime, and it says, "Good night. Doubts may grow as shadows loom when you're alone with your thoughts. Plant music, art, pics of the ones you love in the darkest corners. Harvest the fruits of your daydreams and rest. Water and sunlight to the best of you." So I'm a words of affirmation person, and just to have a book that I knew I could go to every morning and every night, and when I finished it, I would go back and do it again. It just really helped me. And then there's this one, To Light Their Way. It's a book of prayers for your children, which I've needed over and over and over again. There's prayers for everything. There's prayers from when you're pregnant, for pregnancy, childbirth, preparing a sibling, for adoption. It's broken down into prayers for ordinary moments, transition times, nurturing faith in your children, for the parenting journey, for a weary world. These things come up and you need them. It's prayer and it's scripture for these times that come up. If you are going to be a parent and then choose to be a parent who takes the full responsibility of educating your children, you need to be fortified, and this is what fortified me. For the why books, we're going to start here. Troublemakers by Carla Shalaby. It says lessons in freedom from young children at school. I went to Columbia University for my master's, and this was assigned to us while we were there, and I'm very, very grateful to have come across this book. This book, it follows 4 children. Their names are Zora, Lucas, Sean, and Marcus, and they are what you would think of as troublemakers in the classroom. They're kind of outliers. Their personalities are different. They're not as easy to control and tame, and it shows an in-depth look into their lives and what makes them them, and it really uncovers the truth about them, that they are awesome and that they are the ones who show you what needs to change in your classroom. A lot of kids, they try and fly under the radar, or they try and play by the rules, and they learn the rules quickly, and then but then you can't grow as an educator or as a parent. You can't grow unless someone's making noise and letting you know where they need more support or where they need you to change. This is really insightful, and it speaks to those of us who don't fit inside the lines, and those of us who have children who don't fit inside the lines. Really worthwhile read. One that I listened to on audio is Unschooled by Carrie McDonald. I mentioned Carrie McDonald before. She's a podcaster, she's a journalist, she writes articles. She follows the homeschool and alternative education movement across America. And she tells the stories of the people who are making the changes that we need to see for our children. And she was able to shadow both a homeschooling family and public school children around the same age. And she saw the benefits of homeschooling and alternative education. And it made her a big proponent of alternative education. And now she has this full career. It is a really great look into what the differences are and why one would choose alternative education for their child. So I highly recommend that one. Now we're getting into the how. So many, I'm just gonna kind of flip through them. If they pique your interest, like, I would recommend looking into them. I highly recommend every single one of these. So there are many different pedagogies and theories around education. So we're going to start with those, the different ones that you can choose from. This one here is one that everyone knows, Montessori. So this is the story, the life of Maria Montessori. This is called The Child is the Teacher. And this starts like, the chapters are like 3 pages each. And this starts like way early in her life, from when she's a child and what motivated her. And it gives you the full backstory of how Montessori came to be. We have Reggio Emilia, which is a learning style that came to be in Italy. And it's very similar to Montessori with some differences. I actually taught in a school with a Reggio Emilia teacher, and she was incredible. It's really great for younger children. And yeah, this is a whole look into Reggio Emilia. Then we have the Sudbury Valley. This is Free at Last, the Sudbury Valley School by Daniel Greenberg. Sudbury Valley is a very free unschooling style of learning, of educating children. Their schools they implement like the principles of democracy. The kids all have autonomy. They all have a vote. They get to choose everything. They can hire their teachers, fire their teachers. They can decide on what they're going to learn. They can choose not to learn anything until they feel like they want to, right? If they decide at some point that they want to study engineering, then they'll learn the math needed for that. Or they could just spend the day not doing that. Is totally up to them. A lot of their principles are really awesome. So yeah, the Free at Last. Then we have one that I forgot to get. It's called the Charlotte Mason Workbook, I think. I might be wrong. I'm going to put a picture here. I'll link it down below. I have it in the other room. Charlotte Mason is what I used for my youngest when I started homeschooling her, and the other children that I taught. They were exposed to all of the greatest works of art, books. The only thing that I found with the curriculum that I chose for Charlotte Mason was that for me, it wasn't diverse enough. So I kind of did a mix of things. I know what good literature is. And so I was able to kind of go outside of the list that came with the curriculum and choose books that were mirrors and showed the children themselves, but also windows, and expose the children to the world that's big and colorful and different. But I love the principles of Charlotte Mason, like curating the most beautiful, the most well done, the masterpieces in every aspect of what they're going to be exposed to, exposing them to music and tea and poetry, and giving them that rich, culturally rich experience. That I really gravitated toward that. So there's that one. This is The Call of the Wild and Free. This book is fantastic. This gives multiple pedagogical approaches. It also has some like how-tos, like how to create a portfolio, what to do if your spouse is not on board, what to do about behavioral issues, what if you feel you don't have the time or you can't afford it. This also talks a lot about the importance of play and how to get outside and make sure that you're spending a lot of time in nature, and how to incorporate play into their learning. This is really good for kind of breaking the mold that your brain is in when it comes to what school should look like, because a lot of people, when they are homeschooling for the first time, or they're choosing an alternative, it's hard to go outside of the box because you don't want to feel like you're misguiding your children. To step outside of the box, you need someone who's gone before you, someone who can kind of conceptualize that and make it real for you, and let you know, like, this will work. This is a really good book for that. A Place to Belong by Amber O'Neal Johnston. Amber O'Neal Johnston is a YouTuber also, celebrating diversity and kinship in the home and beyond. So this gives a lot of ways for teaching culturally relevant things to our children who are from all different cultures, teaching kind of hard history in child appropriate ways, curating diverse books, creating an open dialogue with your children about race and culture and differences and things like that. Super important stuff. So this is really great for that. Place to Belong. Then we have Free to Learn. This is by Peter Gray. Peter Gray is a giant voice in this space. Peter Gray talks about, this says, why unleashing the instinct to play will make our children happier, more self-reliant, and better students of life. This speaks about the implications of exposing children to compulsory education, and the benefits of breaking free of that. Rethinking School, how to take charge of your child's education. This is excellent. It has quizzes that you can take to evaluate your child's maturity and readiness. It has all kinds of resources in it. It walks you through, even if you're not ready to pull your child out, it walks you through how to navigate within the system and how to advocate for your child in the system. It's wonderful. Susan Wise Bauer also wrote The Well-Trained Mind. This is a guide to classical education, which is a whole different style. Classical education, it is teaching in the way that, like, our forefathers learned. It's the one-room schoolhouse idea where you model what you see that people have done before you. So you'll just do a lot of reading of, like, very intentional classical literature, and you'll learn to write kind of through, like, just exposure to that. Then these two next books are about schools that are like traditional schooling, but teachers who get it, who are doing things differently. This one is Creative Schools by Ken Robinson. This really, for me, and for as someone who is creating a micro school and wants to change the way that things are done, this was really motivational and inspirational for me. It gives this actually, he has a TED Talk on YouTube. You can look it up. It's the Creative Schools TED Talk by Ken Robinson. He knows that the current system of education is outdated and that we need reform and we need a new way of doing things. And he has some really excellent ideas in here. And he also talks about other schools that are doing it in a new way. I've written all over the inside of this one. It's fantastic. Then we have What Schools Could Be, very similar. This was a kind of a passion project for Ted Dintersmith. He took a trip across America visiting all these schools and seeing how things are, how teachers are innovating in the classroom. And this is a book of just full of anecdotes about what these teachers are doing and the ways that schools are innovating. So here's a map of the states, and then those are all of the places that he visited. He went to these schools and spoke to these teachers and to the children and saw the ways that they are innovating. And reading this just really lit me up. I was so inspired. And to know that, like, if you're working in the homeschooling space, if you're working in the micro school space, all of this is possible. There, you can do, the sky's the limit. This was really a good reference for me. It's also really good for parents whose children are still in the public school system, because you know what can be done within the system and what schools are doing it. It's something that you can advocate for in your own local school. I Am a Pencil. I got this from Thrift Books, so it still has like this sticker on it. A Teacher, His Kids, and Their World of Stories. This was made for me. This teacher is from New York City, like I am. He was teaching in Queens like I did. It is a very real look into what the day-to-day looks like for a teacher who sees the potential and has the space to actually make change and to help grow the enthusiasm and the excitement of the children, and to give them the ownership. It feels like fiction, so I really recommend this one. The rest of them were audiobooks, so I'm just going to kind of rattle off the audiobooks that I listened to. They're all how audiobooks. This is all in the how section. The first one is Read for Our Lives by Maya Payne Smart. This one is it's like a how to create lifelong readers. How do you raise children who are in love with reading? And she gives a lot of practical tips on what to do at each stage of their lives. It's really for younger children though. Another one that was one of the first ones that I read when I started homeschooling is called For the Children's Sake. This is this book is a Christian book, and it gives motivation to the mother, to the homemaker, the caretaker, on how to run your home to make it suitable for natural, organic learning to happen. And it really spoke to my heart, and I really followed it. And I'm a person who believes in discipline and my faith, and I try to be better, and I try to be disciplined to make sure that I'm giving the best of myself to my children and my family, because my family and my like being a teacher, being a mother, being a wife, being a homemaker is all my ministry, and I take that very seriously. And so I'm not the kind of person who is like, oh, don't tell me how to live, or I want the wisdom from women who have gone before me, who've done it, who have homeschooled lots of children, who have graduated homeschooled children, who have diligently gotten up every day and done what needs to be done in the house, stayed on top of their chores while, raising their children in Christ, while reading their Bible every day, while, taking care of their bodies, while nurturing their marriage. That is a big ask. And I really love books that give me that motivation and that wisdom and the guidance. This really helped me set the tone in my household, to make it feasible to raise my children and home educate them the way that I really wanted to. The next one is the Self-Driven Child. This one gives practical tips from toddler all the way through college age on how to hand over the reins to your children, give them autonomy, give them agency over their own lives and what they have going on. Another one that I used in the beginning of my journey, and I revisit every now and then, is Teaching from Rest, a how-to guide for the homeschool mom that's similar to the For the Children's Sake, just a more modern take on it. It gives tips on how to organize your day, so that you're not overwhelmed, because it's very easy to become overwhelmed in this role. So it's best to be a calm presence for your children, whether you're their teacher or their mother, and that this book helps you set your day up so that you can show up as that person, as Miss Honey, who is calm and ready for the day, and like a safe presence for your children. So I know that was long, and I have others which I'll bring up in a different video. You can follow me on Instagram, you can subscribe, you can hit the bell to get notified when I make more videos. Thank you for watching this. I hope it was helpful. There's more to come. Stay tuned. Bye. See you next time.